Good afternoon. How are you today? It is a fabulous day. This is the day of the woman. This is the day that women get their righteous result. And against one of the worst human beings this nation has known in our lifetimes or any time before, that is Mr. Trump. E. Jean Carroll today won her lawsuit. The jury found in rapid succession that she'd been sexually abused, that he knew what he was doing, that he did it with malice, that he intended to hurt her, and that he also defamed her. What he said was false, and maliciously so, and he went forward and did what he did. And as a result, the jury decided, for various reasons, a total sum of funds were due her as damages $5 million. Not bad. And her lawyer told the jury that this case was not about the money. And some might think it was a tactic, but I think she was right. I want all of you people to dial back to the March on Washington. Put your mind in that place. When I heard the decision being described, I could feel this amazing joy that finally this man was found by 9 men and women to be a liar, something we've all known. They said he was a liar. It has the force of law. It has the force of the facts that were shown. It also is costing him. Maybe $5 million is nothing for him, but it's a chunk of fun, and it says something really strong about this guy. You can feel him running away. And Tacopina is trying to now blame it on Trump that he lost. 2 bullies in a courtroom doing what they did, and the jury didn't buy it. Now, there was a technical question about the rape charge. And the question was, had she and could she charge penetration? The interesting thing, and I think they found that they didn't have that element. So it shows the jury was disciplined, and the testimony was hers. And so insofar as that point wasn't found, sexual abuse was, as I've described. But there's something else. What did they find? Now, I'm going to put you on notice. I doubt any of you are uncomfortable about this, particularly anybody who's followed this issue. But there was a term that Trump used in the Access Hollywood thing. And journalists are not saying it. And it's wrong. They should say it. And they should say it repeatedly. Because it marks the measure of Trump as a bore, abusive bully. That is something that America should know and has to know about him. Okay, so now, if you can't stand the word, turn off right now. And the word is pussy, right? Now, why do I feel free to talk about that? When the March on Washington occurred, women and men across the nation made pussy hats. And they were described by the group that made them with a message encouraging people to wear these hats on the March on Washington. Women giggled and laughed as they put these hats on. I did not wear one, but I supported in every other way. And we filled buses with people. When I say we, everybody. And there were men aboard that day, myself among them, but many men, which says something really good about our nation. And we were there protesting what we knew then was going to be everything that Trump was about. And so we marched and we spoke about it. Now here's the glorious, glorious loop in history that the Access Hollywood statement so upset men and women alike, but especially women, as it should have. that they made these hats. But then let's go further. This was the symbol of Trump as a defective, that he would do such a thing, a human defective, without morality, without the proper demeanor of a man who would be our chief executive. So, when we were saying that then, we could not have anticipated that E. Jean Carroll would perhaps win her case, because while she couldn't be sure about penetration, she was unmistakable that he had grabbed her. Grabbed her in the way he said in Access Hollywood. Grabbed her in the way that prompted so many women across America to wear hats and come to Washington on that day. And recently, he has said in depositions that, oh yeah, well, it's fine. Fortunately or unfortunately, people have been doing this for millions of years. If they were stars, and I'm a star. So, how much of what happened in the Access Hollywood tape and his admission as to how he treats women, and that he grabs them in that special way, and that connection over time landed this past week in a federal courtroom in Lower Manhattan, and that statement came back to nail his ass to the cross. We all participate, as we the people, in the success that happened in court. Now, commentators everywhere are talking about, the law about it and so forth. That's not what's important about this case. What's important about this case is we got him where he hurts. The truth marked his way. The truth took him to defeat, and nothing they could do could stop it. The second piece of evidence, of course, was that he mistook Carol as his wife, having said that Carol was not his type, meaning he didn't rape women who look like Carol. Now, I'm not going to carry this thing out, but you know the point. So, are symbols important? Absolutely. People die for symbols. People are hurt terribly because of symbols. Carol has been hurt in many ways over the years since that incident, privately and publicly. She had to fight the Department of Justice to continue this case, both under Barr and under worthless Garland. She had advisors. She had friends who decided to come forward and take a beating in a courtroom from bully Tacopina. You want something done? Get the women to do it. It's absolutely true. And the resolution to go forward, unbended by these worthless men who don't appreciate who women are. Now, there were lots of wonderful experiences in the March on Washington. And the hats were an important symbol of it. And I only mention it and bear down on it because I am just fascinated by how it swings around from so long ago to now. And he gets hit with a sucker punch of his own making because he is the one who said it. Thinking no one would hear him. But we did. We all did hear him. There were many speakers that day. We were gathered and saw people that we knew from politics and other past political adventures. But Gloria Steinem, just, I followed her like a lot of people have her whole life. And she's always in the right place, in my opinion, on these issues that bring us together and that hurt us. And she said now that Trump had come to Washington and done what he did, that we've come to Washington and we're not going away. That's what happened today. We're not going away. There are people among us who know fighting is important and worthwhile. And at a time when women are taking a beating in this nation from old white men in the Republican Party, the maggots of Trump's army. We need to be fighting across the nation so that women are treated as the persons they are, the valuable members of our society, the citizens. And I was just so proud of that team in court. I just wish I could have been there. But we get to see what happened. And so I look forward to unfold the days ahead. And I think that we should save our breath on what the significance of the case is legally. The significance legally is 9 men and women in Lower Manhattan said what politicians are too cowardly to say, what elected officials failed to do, including our Attorney General, who tried to sidetrack this case, taking it over from Barr. But the women persisted. And these 6 men and women, they very carefully went over the evidence. They measured what they should do. They knew people were looking at them. But they'd been thinking about it for some time, because it took 3 hours for them to reach their verdict, which is quick by any measure, and particularly the number of questions they had. So, there are other things going on, and I might talk about them, but I don't want to compromise or dilute any thought about what Jean Carroll and her team accomplished with all of us supporting her. I heard Nicole on MSNBC saying she was apprehensive about what would happen. I think she spoke for people across America, men and women, who have that same feeling. I was concerned. Was it possible that Tacopina's bullying could confuse a jury and find her case wanting? But they didn't. They saw through him. They saw through Trump. And they saw the soul of Carroll, who embodies right now women across America who've been offended and hurt by men like Trump. And let's take that thought forward, because there are many battles ahead of us. And perhaps this will give some courage to the cowards who failed to act to chase this man who never should have been president and shouldn't be out there about to have a town hall meeting on CNN. This could be the end of CNN if they don't allow the questions about, so, Mr. Trump, now you've been found a liar and a sexual abuser. What do you have to say for yourself? Oh, they're all out to get me. Oh, are you going to cross-examine him? Are you going to go after him? Are you going to let him say whatever the hell he wants? Why are you putting him on in the first place? Who has a man who would overthrow our government, who abuses women, and who lies? Who would have him have a special as a presidential candidate and no one else? CNN has fallen a long way, and we have to take Trump the rest of the way for his accounting. This is an important step. D.A. Bragg is taking important steps. The judge in that case is taking some steps. The tide is turning toward us. And you politicians who think you can get away with doing nothing, watch your ass. We're coming for you too. So here I am in my cathedral of trees, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.